Okay, so we are graphing this quadratic equation, and I can see this is vertex notation, so I know my x coordinate is going to be the inverse of positive 3, so it's negative 3, and then it goes up 2, all right? If I was looking at the transformations, that would be to the left 3, right, and up 2. Okay, and then it's also going to be a compression of a half, and it's going to be a reflection because of the minus. All right, so if I want to graph that, I know where the vertex is. I start at the parent function will be at 0, 0, so I'm going to go 1, 2, 3 to the left, and up 2, and that is the vertex. All right, and then I know that my slope is going to be this is the slope in front, so it's negative 1/2, so I'm going to go down 1 and over 2. All right, and then I would go down 1 and to the right 2. So that means it's compressed, it's going to be flatter. And then I'm going to end up, and if I'm not sure what I want to do here graphing wise, I would just put it into my calculator and find some points. And I'll do that in a second. Meanwhile, I know the axis of symmetry is going to be x equals something, right? Because it's a vertical line with an undefined slope, so it's x equals something. And it goes through the vertex. All right, that is going to be my axis of symmetry. So it's going to be x equals, well, it has to equal negative 3, because that is where the vertex is. All right. End behavior, I know since it's negative, I know it's going down, right? It's going down. So my end behavior is going to be negative infinity for both of them. The domain is going to be forever to the left and forever to the right. So that's going to be negative infinity to positive infinity. That is interval notation. Set notation would be all real numbers, okay? My x's are an element of all real numbers, and I can put that in the nice brackets or braces. So then the range is going to be my y values, right? Domain is x values, range is the y values. So looking at my y values, well, I know my biggest y value is going to be the vertex because it's going down, right? And it's going from, it goes down to negative infinity. So it's going to be negative infinity to, this tells me, again, my vertex is going to be the maximum. All right, my vertex is a max. All right, because of this, it's going upside down. So my vertex is a max. So it goes from negative infinity to 2. All right, 2 is the highest y, and it's a square bracket because it includes 2. And so that means my y's are going to be less than or equal to 2. All right. So now for the x-intercepts, I'm actually going to need to look at the graph. So I will go ahead and put that on my calculator. Now I know it's opening down because of the negative, right? A is negative. And so that means that it's going to be a maximum. All right, so for my x-intercepts and my y-intercept, I'll go ahead and put that into my calculator. Okay, so I'm putting this in the calculator. For my fraction, I'm going to use alpha y equals so that I can get this nice fraction looking like that. And then it was 1/2, so 1 over 2. And then I'll put my parentheses, and then I've got an x plus 3 squared. That makes it quadratic. And then I've got plus 2. Okay, so, and then I'll look at the graph of that. So there it is. Okay, and again, I can tell, here's my end behavior going down to negative infinity on both ends. And then again, this up here, this is the maximum. That vertex is a max. So I've got to see exactly what the points are, so I'm going to look at the table. So you go second graph, and I can see now the points that are actually on the table. So I've got -3, +2. So 1, 2, 3. Oh, that was my vertex, right? So I've already got that. And then I've got -1, 0. So -1, 0 is this guy right here. And then I've got pot 1, -6. So 1 and then -6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All right, so that is the right-hand side. Now, it's always going to be symmetrical, right? So I'm going to have on the other side, oops, I'm going to go up. I've got -5, 0. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that is my, and actually those are my two x-intercepts, right? For the x-intercepts, y equals 0, and so that would be, the x-intercepts would be -5, 0, and -1, 0. Okay. Now the y-intercept is where x equals 0. Okay, so I have for my y-intercept, I've got x equal to 0. So x equals 0. And I'll look at my calculator when x is equal to 0. That's this point right here. Y is -5/2. Okay, so when x is 0, y is -5/2. And that would be the y-intercept. Okay, that would be down here. The y-intercept is on the y-axis. And that is all those questions there. All right, so that is number 1. Now you can go ahead and try number 2.